It's 6:30 p.m. in the nation's economic capital, Douala, and time for Prime News on My Media Prime. With me, Audrey, Zatsa. The presidents of the communication regulatory authorities of Central Africa have begun brainstorming on the need to curb communication and information dissemination excesses, especially during this COVID-19 era, alongside long-standing armed conflicts hitting most Central African countries. The two-day conference, presided over by Cameroon's National Communication Council President Joseph Chebonken Kalabupse, started this December 14, 2021 in Kribi South region of the country. At the end of the come together, the team will create a platform of the Communication Regulatory Authority of member countries of CEMAC and ECAS. 6 men are currently under police custody for alleged drug trafficking. The gang was arrested in the nation's political capital with bags of marijuana. Reporter Noraka Kebi tells us more.
With the festive season around the corner, crime wave is at its peak, especially in urban areas of the country, as some criminals are bent on making quick cash, either by hook or by crook. These 6 men were apprehended recently in Cameroon's political capital with illegal drugs such as marijuana and cocaine. The men were caught with several bags of marijuana ready to be sold in order to put money in their pockets. Unfortunately for them, they were apprehended and taken to the regional delegation of the Judicial Police in Yaoundé. After presenting the thieves to the Judicial Police and to the press, the Divisional Commissioner of the Judicial Police in Yaoundé had this to say. 6 individuals were caught transporting huge quantities of cannabis worth 200 kilograms. There was equally 5 kilograms of wrapped cannabis as well as 10 grams of cocaine. My Media Prime Television gathered that 5 out of the 6 men are very hardened criminals who have been in and out of the Kondengi Maximum Central Prison in Yaoundé. The 6 drug traffickers are said to make huge supplies to retailers who in turn supply to other consumers, including secondary school students. The traffickers are presently under police custody, gnashing their teeth while awaiting the hammer of justice.
Football fans in the southwest region have been reassured of their protection during the upcoming AFCON 2021. This reassurance was made over the weekend by the commander in charge of the 2nd Military Region, Brigadier General Eba Benwe, in the joint military meeting at Limbe Omnisport Stadium. Catherine Ekongwe tells us more.
As the AFCON days draw closer, the football-loving population of the southwest region of Cameroon has been reassured of their safety and protection during the AFCON 2021 games come January 9, with Limbe being one of the host cities of the games. The reassurance was made by the commander in charge of the 2nd Military Region, Brigadier General Eba Benwe, while presiding over a joint maneuver of the military and paramilitary forces at the Limbe Omnisport Stadium to demonstrate the readiness of the forces of law and order to intervene in case of any eventuality that may arise during the games. This exercise is in preparation of the AFCON Games come January 9, 2021. During the AFCON, there are possibilities of a terrorist attack in the stadium. The forces of law and order should be up to the task to deal with the attacks. That is why we organized this exercise. The demonstration began with the military showing how to intervene in case of terrorist attack during the football match. The stakeholders also depicted how to rescue the team taken hostage and how to secure and neutralize suspected zone planted with bombs. The exercise took place under the watchful presence of the Secretary General to the Southwest Governor's Office, Acha Gilbert, alongside top military officials and administrative officials of the region.
The exercise that has been carried out this afternoon is to show to the public and to the entire world that Cameroon is very ready. We are ready to ensure the security of the competition. So the various compositions of what happened this morning was a kind of demonstration of the force that we had prepared, and the various participants who are taking place in the security aspect of the field is assured.
With the rise in the number of attacks in the southwest region recently and the detonation of artisanal bombs becoming very popular, security is of utmost importance in this area.
A 5-month campaign on media literacy and disinformation on social media has been launched in the southwest region of the country by a non-governmental organization called Sister Speak 237. The campaign that brought together 46 youths and social media influencers is a project sponsored by the U.S. Embassy in Yaoundé. Clarice Ekowe.
Social media platforms are increasingly becoming a popular ground for disinformation, misinformation, and malinformation. Youth constitute a greater percentage of active social media users who very often ignorantly consume and disseminate such information as they lack media literacy skills to fact-check.
As a participant in this particular workshop, I've learned about misinformation. I find a lot of examples that were cited during the workshop of, people being injured, people emotionally affected by the wrong information we put out there.
As a journalist, I think that fact-checking has come into play because I will not just get information and say, oh, let me just go and share or talk about it.
Gathered in Boya and under the canopy of Sister Speak 237, these are some 46 youths and social media influencers who receive training on how to access and share truthful information.
For a campaign like this, which is intended to counter the spread of disinformation, art is a very potent tool. I succeeded to draw the attendants' attention to the value and to the necessity to use art and how they could achieve this by focusing on the root of the problem.
Speaking during this seminar, the coordinator of Sister Speak 237, Comfort Musa, said that the project, which is being sponsored by the U.S. Embassy in Yaoundé, will engage these youth leaders over a period of 4 months in order to promote media literacy and how to counter disinformation.
Engage their friends actively online and offline, sharing the lessons that they have learned, challenging other youths, to seek and share correct information, and they will do this through different social media contests that we will launch from January till April.
With this training coming at a time when the armed conflict in the southwest and northwest region is being fueled by disinformation on social media platforms, it is hoped that participants through this training will be able to counter disinformation while engaging their peers in consolidating peace, social cohesion, and living together.
We move to the Adamawa region, where best candidates of the 2020-2021 examination sessions in the region have received diplomas of excellence for their academic efforts. The diplomas were handed over by authorities in the region during an event which took place at Lycée Classique et Moderne of Ngaoundéré yesterday, December 13. Eileen Sama has details.
The beneficiaries of the Excellence Award are students who made it at the BAPC, Proba 3, Baccalaureate and CAPM exams of the 2020-2021 academic year. Nationally, Lycée Le Printemps Ngaoundéré occupied the first position at the bilingual BAPC with 16.30 average on 20 obtained by one of its students. I want to say thank you to the Minister of Secondary Education for this wonderful initiative to honor me with this award of excellence, and I would like to encourage other students because if I emerged first, it was due to hard work. For the founder of this Lycée private school, the first factor to consider as a student in order to succeed is confidence and hard work.
J'ai saisi cette opportunité.
Let me use this opportunity to congratulate all the laureates and the principal as well as the entire team for the hard work. I say thanks to the regional delegation, the regional department and administrative authorities, religious and traditional, as well for all their support rendered to us. One word I would say is hard work, because hard work breeds excellence.
Travail sacré, donc l'excellence.
Regionally, Collège Zen de Mazono occupied the first position at the BAPC exams, and Lycée Technique de Ngaoundéré occupied the first in industrial studies. While congratulating the laureates, the divisional delegate of secondary education for the VINA exalted the beneficiaries to continue in this light.
Vous avez vu les rangs que nos lauréats ont occupés en termes de classement
You have
national.
seen to yourself what the laureates have achieved, occupying the best positions at the national level. And we would like to maintain that at the regional level as well.
Davantage des meilleurs rangs au niveau national, mais de nous maintenir également au niveau régional.
The event ended in high ambience to spur the students to keep working hard.
Over in the Northwest region, the Njinicom councillors in Boyo division have voted a sum of over 744 million francs CFA to carry out developmental projects in the area for 2022. This was during an extraordinary session of the council which took place over the weekend, chaired by the mayor of the Njinicom Council, Young Samuel Law. Charles Kebwa.
An extraordinary council session of the Njinicom Council in Boyo Division of the Northwest held at the Njinicom Council Chambers December 10, 2021 to deliberate and adopt the 2022 Njinicom Council budget. Addressing councillors, Mayor Young Samuel Lu of the Njinicom Council regret the non-collection of local taxes in the municipality caused by the heavy presence of separatist fighters in the council area. Though the council managed executed projects for the development of the council area, it should be noted following the recent ranking of councils in the Northwest, the Njinicom Council came 11 and dream working towards the first position come 2022.
Following the recent ranking of councils for the region, Njinicom Council took the 11th position. And my dream for 2022 is that we should come up first. I know that last year we started off a bit late, but I want to think that all the errors of the past will be corrected. And the rest assured, I want to assure you, Mr. Journalist, Mr. Delegate, that next time around, Njinicom will not, if we are not the first, we should be second or third at least.
Njinicom Council doing all in the fight against the spread of the COVID-19 pandemic, the council showing concern towards the development of the municipality, councillors voted Njinicom Council budget for 2022, which balances in revenue and expenditure to over 744 million.
We are just from the 2022 budgeting session for Njinicom Council, and we have come up with an envelope of over 744 million francs. And the intention is that if this budget is realized, we are going to construct hospitals, equip hospitals, construct roads, and even get into schools and see how we can really improve on farm-to-market roads. Our intention too is to see how we can empower the youths by way of supporting them to get onto kind of startups so that they can have something doing for themselves.
Young Samuel Lu urged the Njinicom councillors and other stakeholders to continue educating those in the bushes, especially the young ones, to see the need for development and peace for the council to realize its projects on record time. With the social crisis being a shabby block in hunting development, the mayor enjoined the councillors they have to work hard so as to overcome some of the difficulties the council witnessed in the execution of the council's activities in the just ending financial year.
We now talk about education. The Higher Institute of Business Management and Technology, HIPMAT Douala, has graduated its first batch of HND and second batch of B.Tech students. The convocation ceremony took place on December 11, 2021 at the HIPMAT campus in Douala. Joy Ngong has details.
The solemn convocation ceremony of the first batch of the Higher National Diploma and the second batch of the Professional Bachelor of Technology of the Higher Institute of Business Management and Technology officially concluded 2 years and 3 years of studies respectively for the graduating students. The training is complete. It is time for each of them to face the job market.
I'm very happy, very glad to be the best student of HIPMAT Douala, and I also receive a prize to be the best management student in my field, so I'm very happy, so it's very fresh for me. I'm going to put in practice what HIPMAT taught me till today, so it will not be difficult for me.
The school administration, on their part, believe that they have impacted the graduating students with enough knowledge and skills to excel in the professional world.
The school has given them the skills that they need. We just gave them small tips on what is waiting for them outside to be able to mix what they have learned in school, which is the theory, and in the professional world. They need to just be disciplined, to be determined, to have a positive, constantly front-moving mindset. And I think that they would be able to succeed.
We at HIPMAT were very, very impressed. We have equipped them with the necessary technical and scientific knowledge. So we are confident of what we have done. We are very, very confident that wherever they are going to work, they will be our good ambassadors.
In attendance at the graduation ceremony was the representative of the Vice Chancellor of the University of Bamenda, who saluted the success of the occasion and looks forward to stronger ties between the two institutions.
This occasion was a very wonderful occasion. It was graced by, Holy Mass. There were choir presentations. There was a talk from a guest speaker. And I think that the occasion was very, very rich in terms of activities. The mentor-mentee relationship has been moving on very well. And then given the progress of HIPMAT, I think that in the near future, HIPMAT can become autonomous.
The graduation ceremony ended in merrymaking and photo shoot sessions with the laureates and their families.
The Catholic University Institute of Boya, CUIB, has graduated its 8th batch of students after 4 years of studies. The graduation ceremony that held on Friday, December 10, 2021 at the CUIB campus in Boya was attended by the representative of the Minister of Higher Education, Professor Ngomu Horace Manga. Clarice Ekowe.
Among these 60 students who are graduating this Friday, December 10, 2021 from the Catholic University Institute of Boya are the pioneer batch of MSc students. This graduation, which comes after 4 years instead of 3 years, is due to a number of challenges.
We had 3 main challenges. The first was the issue of the COVID pandemic. The change in the administration actually put us in a COVID state. The challenges were tough, studying online, at home, with distraction.
During the ceremony, the Pro-Chancellor of CUBE, Bishop Michael Bibi, hailed the students for their resilience amidst challenges faced before dishing out advices.
And just as they overcame the challenges of education during this crisis period, that is how they will overcome the other challenges that they encounter.
Attended by the representative of the Minister of Higher Education, the President of CUBE, Professor Victor Julius Ngo, during his speech raised concern about the exclusion of students of CUBE from the yearly presidential grants, among others.
Postgraduate students graduated on the mentor university did everything to ensure that the standards and quality are maintained.
Worries to which the representative of the minister promised to table to the higher authorities.
Element of pleasure to me is the fact that we are university mental institution, and by extension, our own efforts contributed to the requested that I take those solicitations faithfully to the Minister of State, Minister of Higher Education, and that's essentially what I will do.
In his academic discourse captured the role of graduates in making the world a better place, Honorable Dawar Babal, the guest speaker, enjoined the graduates to use knowledge acquired to create value by seeking to solve societal problems. Cash prizes were handed to overall best students in the schools of agriculture and natural resources, business, engineering, and the School of Information and Technology.
Over Over 100 students have matriculated at the Cameroon Bilingual Higher Institute of Professional Studies for the 2021-2022 academic year. The students who were sworn in during the fourth matriculation ceremony, which took place recently in Yaoundé, are now officially admitted into the schools of medicine, transport and logistics and accounting. A recount of the ceremony right ahead. It was a great moment for the Cameroon Bilingual Higher Institute of Professional Studies, abbreviated as CAPHIPS, as it welcomed its students into the schools of medicine, logistics and transport and accounting. The ceremony, which took place at Biemasi in the nation's capital on Friday, December 10, 2021, was presided over by the founder, Leila Linus, whom, on delivering the keynote address, stressed on the importance of giving a helping hand to the newly admitted students in their goals towards entrepreneurship.
Most of us here seated beside me are already having their own future. I want to pray and create an industries that will help this young career have a future tomorrow. Besides training our students like professionals, people have also engaged and embarked on a journey of making them entrepreneurs. That is our goal. They should be able to live here. Besides having their diplomas as professionals, they should be able to create small and medium-sized enterprises.
Dubbed the batch of pace-setters, the over 100 freshmen processed into the hall, dressed in their white and suit attires under the admirative eyes of invitees, parents and CAPHIP staff present before taking the matriculation oath. The occasion was marked by the presence of Mebo Jean-Marie, representing the Ministry of Higher Education.
I'm very happy to be here today. It is not easy for the state to organize everything himself. That's why when we have the promoter who want to help the state, we are happy. We have to prove them we are together.
The institution, which is under the University of Bamenda, equally saw the attendance of the Director of Academic Affairs.
Institute, it's under our mentorship. We are the one mentoring it. So it is very important to follow them like a young child that you are following right from birth to maturity. So as we are mentoring them, we are following them every step to be sure that they are doing the right thing.
A prayer was raised in favor of victims of the crisis in the restive English-speaking regions. Amongst the highlights of the ceremony was the distribution of admission letters and school handbooks, the passage of Miss and Master CAPHIPS, a series of cultural dances, ballet, comedy, singing by CAPHIPS choir members, the awarding of prizes to several students and teachers for their commitment and dedication to work, and the handing of the Director's Cup before refreshment. With this ceremony in line with government's education policy, the Cameroon Bilingual Higher Institute of Professional Studies promises to be a reference in Cameroon's educational milieu. And on our health page, we focus on the global malarial assessment by the World Health Organization for 2021 with our health reporter, Bokengo Worthy.
For more than 4 decades, malaria have affected an estimated 241 million persons and taken the life of about 627,000 worldwide. This number amid the pandemic is on the rise and the global health sector is fighting a war on two fronts.
In the face of the COVID-19 pandemic and the restrictions associated and disruptions associated with COVID-19 pandemic, the countries, the malaria endemic countries, have managed to avert the worst case scenarios that many, including WHO, predicted could happen. So that's a first and very important positive message. Nonetheless, there has been an extra 47,000 extra deaths due to those associated disruptions.
Recent data from the World Health Organization defeats the projected worst-case scenario for Africa, breaking the malaria stigma on the sub-Saharan African continent.
More countries than ever, more than half of all malaria endemic countries are actually close to eliminating completely the disease within their national boundaries. And indeed, this year we've witnessed the success of having the largest malaria endemic country in the world, China, being certified malaria-free, and also one of the smallest countries in the world, El Salvador, being certified malaria-free, and a whole set of other countries are lined up to be certified malaria-free. On the other side of the equation, some of the high-burden countries, mostly in sub-Saharan Africa, continue to bear a disproportionate brunt of the disease, and a substantial number of them are actually worsening their malaria situation with respect to what they had in 2015. So a mixed picture, but globally we're off track.
It should be borne in mind that
on October the 6th, the Director General of WHO, following the advice of external advisory bodies and the results of the malaria vaccine implementation program, announced for the first time in history that WHO recommended a malaria vaccine, a first-generation malaria vaccine, to be deployed broadly to children living in areas of moderate to high transmission. This announcement is now being followed by the decision by the Gavi board to open up a window of funding for a malaria vaccine to reach those that need it.
Worth noting is the fact that Cameroon, as of December 2019, had an estimated 30.1% asymptomatic malaria cases affecting persons aged 36 to 60 years more, with a 41% of the country's general population having at least one episode of malaria case yearly, as the disease is the most widespread endemic disease in the country. Health personnel insist on clean environment, avoiding stagnant water, sleeping under treated mosquito nets as a means to help achieve the 2030 end malaria target.
On this health report, we close the curtains of today's edition of Prime News. Thanks for watching, faithful viewers. This edition was produced by Ewane, Alain, Nolinga, coordinated by Lasha Kingsley. Coming up next is a Prime Hour with Leonard and his panelists. Have a nice time. Bye.